I think it's safe to say that the Liberty are currently running the full court press to try to get Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark didn't even play in the All-Star game, but the Fever brass better have been watching, because fans noticed something, and it wasn't subtle. Caitlin was being extra friendly with Liberty star Sabrina Ionescu, not just a quick handshake and a smile. On the court, they looked inseparable. And then came the Instagram comment, Caitlin dropping a reply on Sabrina's post that sent both fan bases into a frenzy. Now the question is everywhere. Is Sabrina recruiting Caitlin to New York? Or is Caitlin trying to bring Sabrina to Indiana? Either way, it looks like something's brewing. The signs are everywhere. And again, the Fever brass need to be careful, because while Caitlin will win either way, this could make or break their franchise. Let's get into what happened and who's most likely to move. But first, like this video if you think Caitlin and Sabrina will play together someday soon. Comment if you don't. So, Sabrina Ionescu posted a photo from the All-Star game, one of her sitting next to Caitlin Clark inside the Fever locker room. And Caitlin replied, "Looking real natural in that locker room." That one comment kicked off a wave of speculation. Was it just friendly banter? Or something more strategic? Because leading up to that moment, fans had already noticed how often the two were paired up, in warm-ups, in media clips, even during the game. And in one now viral moment, Sabrina deflected a loose ball heading toward Caitlin on the bench. To Clark's fans, that wasn't just a nice gesture. It looked like leadership. Sabrina was acting like a veteran presence. And you can tell, there's real respect between them. Before the All-Star game, Sabrina actually gave up her spot in the front row of the team photo, so Caitlin could sit there instead. Now, sure, it's a small gesture, but it speaks volumes. Sabrina didn't have to move, but she did, because she understood this game was on Caitlin's home turf. And more importantly, Caitlin is the reason the arena was sold out. It wasn't about ego, it was about acknowledging what Caitlin means to the league right now, and showing respect. And that wasn't the first time. Earlier this season, when Caitlin dropped 32 points on the Liberty, including that now iconic stretch of 3 long bombs in a row, Sabrina didn't throw shade. She didn't make excuses. She celebrated her impact.
Obviously, she has great range, and her ability to get her shot off is really impressive, especially with missing some games. And so, obviously, on a personal level, I'm really happy to see her back out on the court, healthy, feeling good, because obviously it's important for them, but just for her, I'm happy she's back.
This was all about respect, and about how happy she was on a personal level, that Caitlin was back and playing well. She knew how important that was, not just for Caitlin, but for the game. Sabrina understands business. She understands legacy. She sees the big picture. And that's going to matter in a moment, because she hasn't just shown respect. She supported Caitlin through her injuries this season, too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're good friends. Like, I've been able to talk to her a lot kind of through this, process. And honestly, I've kind of went through something similar in my career. I mean, my first year I didn't play due to injury, and then second year I had like 3 to 4 soft tissue injuries that I was dealing with. And it's kind of, you look back and it's a blessing in disguise, because you're able to just learn and grow and, understand it's all part of your journey, and you just got to, continue to figure out what you need in a pro career. And so, just trying to be that kind of soundboard for her and that voice, having gone through something kind of similar, and, knowing obviously it's really unfortunate that we don't have her, but, she means a lot more to the game than just showing up and playing. And I think you're able to see that with just the excitement in Indy right now, regardless of if she's playing or not.
Again, this isn't just about being friendly. Sabrina's acted like a friend, a mentor, and someone who genuinely wants Caitlin to succeed. Not just physically, but mentally. She's tried to help her through the tough stretches, through the pressure, through the injuries. This goes beyond competition. It's deep respect and a clear desire to see Caitlin thrive. And that matters because in the WNBA, that kind of support for Caitlin Clark, it's not always guaranteed. So with all that in mind, how likely is it that Sabrina joins the Fever? Well, there are a few ways to look at this. First, and this is key, Sabrina will be an unrestricted free agent after this season, which means she chooses where to go. She's one of the top players in the league. She'll have offers. She'll have leverage. And with the salary cap set to rise and Caitlin still locked into a rookie deal, there may never be a better window, financially or strategically, for Indiana to make a move. In that sense, the stars are aligning. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Sabrina knows that in Indiana, as long as Caitlin Clark is there, she'll be playing next to a superstar, not just on the court, but in terms of attention, media, and cultural impact. Just look at what happened with Sophie Cunningham. She took down JC Sheldon in support of Caitlin, and her profile exploded. Over 1 million new followers in days, endorsements, headlines. That's the power of being on Team Clark. And let's be clear, this isn't about money or clout for Sabrina. She's already got major sponsors. She's got a signature shoe. She's not hurting. But this could be a once-in-a-lifetime chance. To team up with the Michael Jordan of the WNBA in both of their primes. It's true. Sabrina could stay in New York and probably contend for a championship every single year. She's in a proven system, strong coaching, solid front office, and the biggest media market in the league. It's safe, it's stable, it works. But here's the thing. Nothing compares to winning with Caitlin Clark when it comes to legacy. If Sabrina wins in New York, she'll be remembered by WNBA fans. If she wins in Indiana, she'll be remembered by everyone, because it's not the same. When you win next to Caitlin, the spotlight follows, the impact multiplies, the moment becomes bigger than basketball. But, of course, there's another side to this.
Many people are insinuating that Caitlin Clark could potentially be recruiting her to Indy too, based off this comment right here, looking real natural in the locker room. I don't think Caitlin Clark's recruiting her. I believe that Caitlin Clark is definitely getting recruited, bro. Sabrina Ionescu is the A side. Look, whenever you're the A side in an argument, you don't have to go to the B side. Sabrina Ionescu already won a championship in New York. She already have proven herself in New York. There's no reason whatsoever for her to come to Indy, bro.
But that begs the question, what if we've been looking at this the wrong way? What if it's not Sabrina who's on the move? What if Caitlin is the one headed to New York?
Now, I'm telling you right now, a lot of Indiana Fever fans is not happy with all of this. Typically, these are the people that's from Indy, which I respect that. I respect their opinions. They're not happy entertaining these little woes they're having all over the internet with none other than Sabrina and Caitlin. Well, I'm here to tell you, they gonna have to keep entertaining it.
So the flip side of all this is that Caitlin's the one headed to New York. And honestly, there's some smoke here. Yes, we've seen the friendly moments between Caitlin and Sabrina, but it goes deeper than that. There have been signs that maybe a conversation is already happening behind the scenes.
We got Sabrina, we got the agent, we got Stewie, we got Caitlin Clark looking like I ain't seen her this happy all year. Right here. I ain't seen her. And look at Sandy. Sandy's grinning with her hand on Caitlin's shoulder.
Caitlin's meeting with the Liberty coach and several players after their game against the Fever wasn't a quick handshake. She lingered, talked, smiled, and the vibe was hard to ignore. Everyone looked comfortable, friendly, familiar. And yeah, Caitlin's agent Aaron Kane was also there. Now, to be fair, this happened before the CBA meetings, so some people chalked it up to league business or all-star coordination. Her agent is based in New York, and the game was in New York, so maybe it was just timing. But even so, something about this season has felt different between Caitlin and the Liberty. There's been a respect, a vibe, that stood out. Caitlin even traded for their head coach, Sandy Brondello, during the All-Star draft. And if you remember that viral step-back three Caitlin hit on Breanna Stewart earlier in the season, Sandy was clapping in the background. Not passive, polite clapping. Genuinely excited. That's not nothing. I mean, just listen to Sandy when she's asked if Caitlin will help coach in the All-Star game.
Coach, obviously Caitlin Clark out of the game, but she's expressed her desire to help you out. From the coaching perspective, have you gotten anything about maybe her traits as a coach?
Yeah, not yet. No, obviously unfortunate about Caitlin's not into this game, but she's going to still have a great impact on this team. I will give the coaching hat to her as much as she wants, to be quite honest. So, we're going to play around with it a little bit. It'll be fun to... I think you've seen it with the Fever. She's been very active on the sideline when she wasn't playing, so we'll utilise that as well.
There's no ego there. She's upset that Caitlin won't play, reassuring the fans that she'll have a big impact in the game, and willing to let her essentially take over. That's called putting the game and the fans first. When you add it up, key members of the Liberty clearly like Caitlin. They respect her. They know what she means to the sport. And that's refreshing, because in the WNBA, that kind of open support hasn't been the norm. Perhaps it's because New York's a big market. They get solid fan turnout without Caitlin, they're champions, and they're not insecure. Let me know if you agree in the comments. So for some fans, the interaction after the Liberty Fever game wasn't just a moment. It felt like a stepping stone, a possible signal of something down the road, not necessarily a move right now, but a door that's cracked open and staying open.
But this is how it starts in sports. This is how it starts in the NFL. This is how it starts in the NBA. When you start seeing the wheels in motion, there's signs. There's signs before eventually a player gets traded. A player eventually marks their next destination.
And even when you look at the All-Star game, it wasn't just Sabrina. It felt like everyone was getting along with Caitlin.
You know, the full court press is on. Because again, inseparable from Sabrina the whole weekend. Sandy Brondolo, the stuff that Sandy Brondolo has been saying towards Caitlin Clark, it has been big, and you're seeing the New York Liberty doing everything they can to at least make it seem like they at least want Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin was even vibing with the Liberty's mascot, Ellie. It was subtle, but again, it just added to the sense that something is brewing. But now let's get real. How likely is it that Caitlin Clark would leave Indiana for New York? Here's the reality. Caitlin is locked into her current contract for 2 more years. There is a scenario where the Fever don't exercise her 4th year, but come on, what are the odds of that happening? She's tripled the franchise's value, boosted ticket sales, merch, media deals, everything. There is no scenario where Indiana just lets her walk. So the only way Caitlin leaves before that window is if she forces a trade. And look, it's been a turbulent season. The roster moves have been inconsistent. Some of the signings haven't worked out. And the coaching? Still a big question mark. So yeah, there's talk. If things don't improve, if the franchise doesn't start building a serious contender around her, if she keeps carrying this much weight with this little protection, she could make a move. And suddenly, those Liberty interactions, they don't look so casual anymore. They start to look strategic. And the Fever had better start paying attention, because Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-lifetime business-building opportunity.
She's the biggest sports star in basketball. One could argue, okay, LeBron's hanging around. If you want to say LeBron, fine. Steph, okay, she's in the top 3 with Steph and LeBron and in the WNBA. You better take a drone. I mean, you better pull back from 50,000 feet and see all the picture of what's going on right now.
The Fever have to understand something, and fast. Caitlin would be an absolute rock star in New York, and half of the Fever fan base would follow her. And that's partially because of how Caitlin has been managed and prioritized by the Fever. This goes beyond the X's and O's. It's been a common theme in the league to downplay Caitlin's accomplishments or distribute her impact wherever possible. And it happens within the Fever. This is a recent example where Stephanie White was asked to comment on Caitlin Clark winning an ESPY for Player of the Year.
Noticed or heard about it, but during the game, Caitlin got honored as the WNBA Player of the Year in the ESPYs. Just what does it mean to have her impact so far? I mean, there are a lot of really good players in this league, and she got honored as the best player in the league by the ESPYs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she continues to get new awards. She continues to break barriers. She continues to do things that we haven't seen before. I mean, you know, obviously you think about the Stewie's MVPs of the league, and you know, championship winners, and Asia's MVPs of the league and championship winners, and of course Sue Bird, who was sitting, you know, in the building today. And you know, Caitlin is so fortunate, as well as all these guys, really. I mean, that they don't know anything any different than the WNBA.
I mean, why couldn't she simply say that she's a phenomenal player, had an outstanding rookie season, and contributed so much to our organization and this league in a short period of time? Instead, she's got to bring up Breanna Stewart and Sue Bird. She's distributing the credit to make sure we're not ignoring the accomplishments of others. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And while logic would suggest that, if it ever comes down to a choice, the Fever front office is far more likely to overhaul the roster, replace the coach, and do whatever it takes before they even consider letting Caitlin Clark walk. I mean, there's no trade package the Liberty could offer that would make it worth it. Not even close. But when you listen to what the Fever's president said before the season about building a brand like Apple, I wouldn't be shocked if she had the balls to take "this organization is bigger than one player" approach. It would be the dumbest move in sports history. But if one of the best basketball players alive and the greatest hockey player of all time can get traded in their primes, then anything's possible, especially when egos are involved. So what's likely to happen? We're about to see serious movement this offseason, and if the Fever are smart, they'll be the ones making the first move. They should go after Sabrina. From a basketball standpoint, great fit. From a league marketing standpoint, off the charts. From a personal chemistry standpoint, we've already seen it. The Splash Sisters, Caitlin and Sabrina, with Aaliyah Boston anchoring the paint, that's a championship-level team. But here's the thing. It's a bigger risk for Sabrina, because she'd be walking away from something that's clearly working. The Liberty are stacked. They're primed to be contenders every year. And even though they've got a lot of big names to pay, Sabrina doesn't need to take a max contract. She's got the endorsement money, and it's not uncommon for players to sign for less to chase rings. So maybe this isn't about now, maybe this is just the start of something. Planting the seeds for 2 years from now. It all depends on how badly Sabrina wants to play with Caitlin, because Caitlin, barring a power move, isn't leaving in the next 2 years. But who knows? They could end up somewhere entirely different, maybe Golden State, where Sabrina's from. But honestly, New York, where the lights are brightest and the organization is a proven winner, that's where Caitlin would thrive, because that ecosystem can handle and nurture a player like her. It'll be interesting to see if the Fever can hold on to her. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.